Hello friends, and welcome back to the show. I'm your host CBH, and I want to introduce you to a brand new segment for the channel that, if it gets a good response, will become an annual tradition. What is this exciting new project? Well, let's get into it. If you've followed me for years, you might have noticed that I love crossover events more than life itself. So this year I decided to make a permanent slate on the channel to talk about my favorite crossovers of all time, every November going forward. Now you're up to speed, let's introduce our combatants for tonight's showdown. In this corner, we have an organization that fights adult tyranny for kids everywhere. Please welcome the Kids Next Door. And in this corner, we have the terrible trio that terrorizes Ennsville. Please welcome the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. It's the Grim Adventures of the Kids Next Door. Our combatants are ready.
Area scanned. Battlefield set up. Ready?
So we begin the story with Billy being an idiot.
Shocker!
And Harold storms in and warns Billy that if he messes with his lucky pants, he will be sorry. So Billy immediately gets Grim's sight stuck in the pants. Then instead of calling Grim and Mandy to help him, he calls some other familiar characters for help. So the ads tell him to shove off and bother the kids next door instead. He does, and the kids next door resolve to help him despite how idiotic his dilemma is. Number 1 impersonates Billy to take his place so no one notices that he's gone, and so the plot can happen. Numbers 2 through 5 take Billy to have his pants removed, only to be pulled away on another mission so the plot can happen. Mandy immediately sees through Number 1's disguise and tortures information out of him. After discovering the existence of the kids next door, Mandy goes to take Number 1's place. Numbers 2 through 5 go to investigate the delightful children in their mansion, but Billy screws up and ends up with the delightful children in the delightful chamber that created them. The machine is turned on, causing all 6 of them to be fused with Grim's scythe and Harold's pants. After stealing Number 1's identity, Mandy quickly maneuvers herself to take over the kids next door, in hilarious and frustrating ways. The newly formed Delightful Reaper begins a conquest of Ennsville and whatever the city the main Kids Next Door story takes place in. They blend together in this episode, so I forget where all this is taking place. An unlikely team-up occurs when Grim senses his scythe being used to take over. Grim and Number 1 go to the moon base to try to create a battle plan against the Delightful Reaper, only to be imprisoned by Mandy, who has taken over the organization. When Moonbase gets briefed about the Delightful Reaper, Mandy mobilizes to take it down. Afterwards, Number 5 frees Number 1 and Grim to help stop the madness. Grim uses an artifact called the Bone of Barnacles to fuse his body with Number 1's. Mandy unleashes a giant robot to fight the Delightful Reaper, but proves to be no match. Number 1 and Grim return as a giant skeleton samurai Jaeger. It appears that the final battle will be a 2v1 against the Delightful Reaper, but Mandy has other plans. She lets herself be assimilated by the Reaper and takes control of it to rule the world. Mandy truly is a megalomaniac after all. Grim and Number 1 are true underdogs against the Mandy Reaper, and it all appears lost. Just when it appears that Mandy has won, a surprise challenger comes to end the fight. Harold is pissed. The true hero runs at the Reaper and removes the lucky pants by force. This creates an opening for Grim and Number 1 to hit the Reaper in its weak spot. The duo finally topples the Reaper and releases all of its victims, including some unexpected cameos. Finally, Grim has his scythe back, Mandy is removed from the leadership of the kids next door, and Billy's dad is angry at him. Truly all is right with the world again. The end credits play showcasing other Cartoon Network crossovers that could only have happened in the 2000s because a lot of people nowadays don't remember half of these shows. So how is this episode as a crossover? It's weird. Kids Next Door is definitely a fantastical series, but not really a supernatural one. Combining that with the dark and very supernatural world of Billy and Mandy is definitely a choice. The difference in tones also felt in the humor. Kids Next Door would have some gross out and mean humor, but Billy and Mandy always cranked it up to an 11. There's also the issue of characters just being stupid so that the plot can happen. That's fine when Billy does it, because that happens in his show, but when like most of the Kids Next Door characters are being stupid. It's kind of annoying. I know it's a cartoon comedy, but it just felt forced at some points. It's still funny, but I thought that I shouldn't just glaze this crossover for the entire video. I will say I did not expect to see a giant kaiju version of Mandy fighting a Jaeger version of number 1 and Grimm. That might have been because Pacific Rim didn't come out until 2013, but that doesn't make it any less awesome. This crossover feels like a cartoon parody making fun of the idea of crossovers themselves. And Cartoon Network just decided that 2007 was the year that the crossover was going to be happening all over the channel, because this came a few months after the Invaded event. I think that this crossover is the better crossover overall over the Invaded special, but tell me, what do you guys think? Is this a good crossover? Does it represent both shows well? Did you want anything more from the crossover? Let me know in the comments below. Next time on Cross-ovember.
I'm the biggest hero in the world. I'm the biggest hero in the world. I have the power of over 1 million aliens. I can turn into a living weapon. I'm gonna turn you into a living punching bag. Hey, you're the one who stepped on my turf. I'm gonna take you down. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Stop it. You stop it.
2 big heroes, 1 epic battle. Ben 10, Generator X, Heroes United. The 1-hour event premieres Friday at 7, 6 Central, only on Cartoon Network.
Why does my jacket smell like bananas?